like that. I 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 like that.
Shuck it, duck it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's going on? What's going on, people?
Hey,
We got
another
Rock
day.
on the road. We got
Another day.
Bernard the Lamb. And we got Benny Mitchell Jr.
There you go.
Something high. The third. Benny Mitchell, the third.
The third. Little Benny.
Third. Benny Jr. The third. Okay. We got Benny Mitchell the third right here with us. Oh, and we got Dr. Torrey just popped
Hey.
in.
There you go.
I'm just here for a little bit. I'm not here the whole time. I'm just here for a little bit. That's
Okay,
all.
well, we appreciate it.
I just finished doing my Dr. King show on Run Tell That because our taping didn't work out on Monday. So again, I had to give a lot of information. And my brother Bernard Brown tuned in. Glad to have had you there, brother. So yeah. So and see, and I realize now I gotta stop wearing my caps and other stuff like that because Bernard Brown tried to tell me I got Indian in me, stuff like that. My hair altered like that. But
You got an Indian, boy. You looking like one of the Temptations. You looking like the lead singer, boy. You like got some Indian in them. Hey, dude, he done run that head down with some lard. You know how to do that lard?
It was kind of
that's
fine.
a cold blow.
Yeah.
He had a fine grade of hair.
Yeah.
Okay, well, brother Mitchell, where you at? You here in Savannah? Or you you muted? You muted.
Yeah, thank you. I live in Charlotte now, but I came down for the MLK weekend because I had some vacation time, and I came to holler at my mom to do some chores around the house. So since we're talking about it be snowing again soon, I say I'm not in a rush to get back, so I'm just chilling.
All right. Awesome. We got a real relaxed show. this show is not the show for anybody that want to come on. So because we don't let up and we don't give up. We are relentless on this show. But we in this short. This is one of the most anticipated shows in this short year that we've had. Uh, that most anticipated show of the year because we're going to be talking some tough subjects tonight, and it's about a whole group of uh, elected officials and community leaders that have endorsed a candidate that the community does not know, period. We've never heard the man even mumble a word. So why have they all lined up behind him? And that is something that's our main topic of tonight. That's the topic of the night, is wading in the water. And we will get to that at about 8 o'clock when our special guest come on, Commissioner from the 6th District, Adolph Whiteley. So we'll see what happens at that time. He's coming to defend his endorsement, and we would love to hear what he has to say because nobody in the community knows this man. I must tell you that we have a lot of stuff that has been sunk in, a whole lot of stuff that has. I can't even put it all up. I got 13 of them up. People have been sending me stuff for the last. I made a Facebook post called "Wade in the Water." Jamar, is he frozen or he just playing?
I have nothing to do with this. I have nothing to do with this. I have nothing to do with this. I'm letting everybody know. I have nothing to do with this.
Jamar, you know what? I ain't gonna start with the temptation right now. I done told you about that. You
didn't send the memes in, but I got a bunch of memes. I got a bunch of calls. Man, I'm telling you, I probably got over 100 calls of people telling me, man, you were so right. I said, well, why you just didn't post it over there? They don't get into it, but they see it. A lot of people read things, but they'll get. I say, okay, it don't matter. I don't do it for likes. I do it because this is what I want to say.
Yeah.
I don't care whether you ever comment. But when you call me, I just tell you why you just didn't comment, so that person will know how you feel. But you calling me under the, behind the closed doors. I told them I do everything in the light. So don't call me. Put it on there where I posted that where you saw it at.
They're scared. They're just scared.
Pastors call me too.
They're just scared.
Some rooting me on. Some telling me, that they're gonna do more, and they got meetings planned to start doing more because of the violence. A whole lot of stuff they've been telling me. No more King. The Jamal show tonight. No more King. But I got a whole lot of memes. I'm going to put them up because the people have sent them to them. And these people have to defend themselves. I'm not here to really just talk bad about anybody, but we need an explanation. I'm not an elected official, so I don't owe anybody any explanation. But when we elect you to office, you owe us an explanation, and you owe the public. So to a certain degree. And some of these people are calling me from all over the county. So those people who are on these memes, if they want to come on the show, we will give you all the time that you need to come on the show and explain yourself and why you gave this endorsement, and to tell us what's your relationship to Wade Herring and how you got to know him and why you gave this endorsement and why you want us to follow you down that road. Anyway,
I'll be gone by that time. I'll be gone by that time. Everybody,
I'll
be gone by that time.
He already gave me his questions to ask, though. He'll be gone, but he already gave me his questions to ask.
That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie.
Hey.
Bernard Brown don't like me doing that because he's trying to control me right now. He said, I got to just deal with it.
That's it. That's it, man. Don't run. Don't be scared.
Hey, Mike Kelly, glad you tuned it in. Hey, Dr. Betty Jones, good evening.
Hey.
Cecilia Cook, good to see you. Diane Brown Dowles, good evening. And Henrietta, good evening, darling. Okay. Ready to start, and we will get on with the first. What we have first, brother Mitchell, is the lightning round. And in that lightning round, we usually have 5 subjects, but I threw in 7 tonight. And the first one is the NFL playoffs. These are lightning rounds, so it ain't gonna take us long on these. because
Yeah.
8 o'clock our guest will be here.
right.
Lightning round, NFL playoff. Did your team win? Bernard, your team win?
I got two things. First, I want to say this here. We want to give our condolences to our homeboy, our classmate, Kenny Johnson. His mother passed away, and they're going to have a funeral on Friday. We send our prayer out to him and his family. He's going through a really, really, really hard time. Jew, I talked to D the other day, and he's going through it. So we just have to, come and love this brother and get him through, this hard time.
Yeah, I've been over there every night.
Yeah.
Except tonight.
And I give him a call, definitely. But all my teams be winning. Everybody who wins is my team. So yeah, all my team won. I ain't gonna never be sad because everybody who won, and those my team. But I want to say
Tampa Bay.
Let me tell you about this Tampa Bay coach. Let me tell you right now. And this dude is a flat out racist, and he can call me anytime you want him. Anytime you on public TV and you knock this man ball player side the head, the way he hit that young man beside his head for no reason, boy, back in the day, it would have been on. You think he had that red pack on him that day? It was totally disrespectful in so many ways for him to hit that young man in the head like that, just to get his attention. And I really don't appreciate it. I really truly don't. And I'm calling him out. I'm calling him out.
Okay. Well, Tampa Bay, I assume, is not your team. Brother Mitchell, Brother Mitchell, you watch football. You are muted again. Okay.
Yeah, I watch football, but I don't know who's in the playoffs other than Tampa Bay. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you now. I'm out of that one. But I did want to say what's up to Jamal and RGB real quick.
Yes, sir. Family in the house.
Yeah.
RG3, man, that dude there. Jamal, your team win.
Well, I'll share this with you. I represent the original nation, which is the Raider Nation. I represent the Raider Nation. The Raiders did lose, but I got an issue, just like Bernard said. I got an issue right now, the total NFL right now, in particular, because David Culley got fired by the Houston Texans. David Culley, some of y'all may not know out there in the audience for the Rabble, is an African-American coach. His first year coaching did not have Deshaun Watson, and everybody knew that. But then they just fired him just like that. When you have Caucasian coaches, bam, they give them leeway.
Mm-hmm. And give them another job.
And so now here go David Culley fired just like that, and they knew he didn't have anything. J.J. Watts, everybody's gone, everybody's leaving, but then they're gonna fire him like that. So I'm like saying we need to look at having a boycott of the NFL because with the stuff like that. I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, and the Miami coach.
Oh, yeah, and Brian Flores. And Brian, yes.
When y'all gonna listen to Jay-Z? Jay-Z said tell the NFL we're in stadiums too. What you think he was talking about?
Yeah.
But Jay-Z didn't win against Colin. He didn't win against Colin Kaepernick. When it did his own backdoor deal with the NFL.
You know
so yeah.
I don't understand why Colin is still Kaepernick is still a free agent and Matt Bryant is still with the Falcons. Somebody help me understand that.
No, my wife seemed to have the right team. You're right, baby. Our team won, Kansas City. Even though she made a post for the Dallas Cowboys, talking about go Cowboys.
Yeah, they go.
Hey,
Julian. Everybody knows that.
When it comes to the Cowboys, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done too. J. Joe.
I'm the insider, Joe, right?
Hey, you look out for those T-shirts coming soon. I'm done. Our second subject of the night. Robert, your team. Oh, you don't have a team, Robert?
Really, I don't have a team right now in the playoffs, but I'm going to root for Buffalo. I'm all for Buffalo. You know why? Jake Fromm.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Our second subject.
O.J. Simpson.
A huge asteroid is just barely missed Earth. So as close as these asteroids are coming these days, if that one would have hit, it would have wiped us all off the planet. So do y'all think one day that asteroid will probably hit here?
We'll
Bernard?
destroy it before that happens. We'll destroy the asteroid. We'll find a way to destroy it.
So you're right about that too.
Jews,
You're right about that.
you know what? Hey, I'm gonna get a campaign going, and we gonna send Jewish to the moon. I think he wanna visit the moon up there and see what's going on.
You can't get me to fly to Las Vegas. How you gonna send me to the moon? I won't even fly to
Why you
Las
gonna
Vegas.
go to Las Vegas?
I ain't going to the moon
What's wrong with
for
Las
sure.
Vegas?
Huh?
You can get to Vegas. You know I'm a part-time travel agent, so I get you to Vegas at a good price.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, if you could get me to
Oh,
Vegas, but we ain't getting on no plane.
Hey.
You know,
Why? I love the fly.
you're not getting on no
Look,
plane.
if you pay
bro.
for it, I go with you.
Hey, try it one time. It'll be all right, Jew. Trust me.
There you go.
Oh, I fly. I only fly when necessary. I'm not flying for pleasure. No, it
Okay.
ain't gonna happen. No, sir. So, nobody else got any information or any thoughts on this asteroid? We being goners one day, because the asteroid is going to hit the Earth one day.
Yeah.
I think that's how we're going out.
I never, like I said, I get all my information from ATR Black Media. Trust me. That's
there
one
you
time,
go.
and I didn't even know about it until you say something. Just the only time I get my information for here. So, I hope it don't come back. You know,
Tiffany,
The birthday girl. It's the birthday girl.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I'm
that's right.
sorry, Jew. I'm so sorry. I'm late. I'm sorry. You know, I got
Capricorns
five
rock. You
He
get a
does
pass.
it.
Capricorns rock.
Yeah, Capricorn.
That's
Even
right.
though our
Capricorns rock.
season up with Capricorn rock.
yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Just
You
like
get
the
a pass.
asteroid.
Whenever I'm on any other ATR show besides Run Tell That, I must always have a warning saying that the views of the people on ATR shows that I'm on do not reflect my views. I have to let that be known all the time.
Hey, boy, I told you, it's that Lord, it's that slick hair, it's that slick hair.
Well, anyway, COVID-19, the new COVID-19 policy. They're saying now that you can. This is topic number 3. That after you test positive for COVID, you must stay in the house for 5 days, not 10, 5 days, and then you can go back to work. You only have to get retested. That's the new policy. Y'all saw that?
Yes.
What do y'all think?
I just went through it. Let me tell y'all something. I was positive last Monday. I tested today negative. That's how crazy this thing is. No symptoms. Y'all saw me last week. None. This is crazy. It is really, really weird.
Yeah.
And I was around you last week, so you mean to say that's why I got these sniffles?
No, that's from that thing down there on River Street, but I ain't gonna go there.
Oh, he was down on River Street at the bus?
Amir was. DeRay was down there with the Debo statue.
Wow.
Y'all, DeRay, you're so messy. Why you gotta be so messy?
Oh, Lord.
Oh,
Oh.
Lord have mercy.
I gotta talk right now. Reverend Small.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You cannot.
Reverend Small,
You
they've been in
cannot
here
take
talking
God
about
to
you.
take Amir.
I had to protect you, Reverend Smalls. I had your back. Even when Jamal Touré didn't have your back, I had your back, brother.
Thank you, Doc. I appreciate that. I was on the phone trying to rescue some folks that look like Jamal.
Oh, okay. They need rescue.
Hey, Benny. God bless your son. God bless you. Good to see you.
Likewise, sir. How you doing?
Oh, it's been a minute. Good Lord. All grown up.
I know it.
Hey,
Beautiful,
you
beautiful.
started that, Bernard. Talking about Lil Benny.
I know it, little bitty. That's all I know was little bitty.
Amen. That's
But
beautiful.
you know what?
Oh, Pastor Small.
Serious note,
Yes, sir.
with COVID, it's like, man,
Oh,
it's you don't know, man. It's just all over the place. You know, 1 minute, hey, you get tests on Monday, you're positive, and then you take it on Friday and you're negative. And you know, I did order my 4 free kit online that's coming to the house. So
That's good.
just only thing you can do is just stay safe because they're putting out a lot of information, a lot of wrong information, a lot of right information, but you in the middle. We the people in the middle of all this information.
Well, right now the Center for Disease Control has lost its bearing and lost its credibility in terms of just being scientifically sound. I mean, on what planet would you tell somebody once you didn't feel like you were sick, go back to work when it came to a virus? I mean, how do you go to school and come back like that?
Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense. And so, yes, it's the money, Benny. Ain't no question about that. But the idea though is that you know, even if you're a liar, you need to kind of work on your lie before you tell it. You don't just throw something on the street. You know, just come on. You're on national TV,
right?
Like some of us got some sense.
Yeah.
So you start feeling better. You don't have no symptoms for 5 days. You don't go and get another test to prove that you're not contagious. You just go back to work with everybody else. We know you got it. We know you've had it. So you go back to work not knowing you don't have it. That's dumb as a box of rocks. You know, I got some clear crayon that's got more sense in it than that.
No.
Yeah.
This is stupid.
That is the new policy. I just read it yesterday. That's the new policy.
You know how I am. I read the whole thing. I'm a reader. I read the entire thing, and I walked away saying these people cannot be scientists.
Yeah, for real.
Hey, you know what?
At the bottom of the screen now.
Hey, Jamal, he probably ain't got no COVID, but something wrong with that young man.
No,
Come on, put that t-shirt down.
I'm going to tell everybody.
I'm from Savannah High now. I'm officially from Savannah High.
I'm just going to make sure people know.
I'm from the High. I'm from Savannah High.
You from Savannah Country Day. Sit it down.
The young man has some issues. Okay, now in most cases, because my terminal degree is in psychology, we tell you to humor people. In his case, just kill him. Just
You been that said in the city of Savannah.
that
might end up being a kid.
No, they can't kill my partner. But I'm just telling you. In Jamal's case, we have a special case.
Oh, we know that.
He loves a school that don't really exist. Okay, it is not a high school. Right?
Exactly.
No, that's just not really high. Everybody know that Jenkins is not a real high school.
It really isn't. They can't even come up to Wizard Forest standards, much less anybody else.
Okay. Now, I mean, in the last 50, 60 years, what, they won 1 or 2 championships in anything in the last 60 years?
1829?
Something like that.
They don't even have a real school lunch.
Like that. No.
Hey,
real school.
Real school lunch. Whoa.
Listen, the white folks used to get
That's what they told me now.
I went to Savannah High. You know how when you're young, you try to fit in with the white folks because there wasn't nothing but white folks. It was 25 of us over there. Okay? And so they a bunch of the bad ones said they're gonna be friends with the Negro. And so we all drinking beer and stuff. And they tricked me saying we going to do something. Come on, Leonard. I jump in the car with him. We go over to Jenkins and steal the people Indian. Now, so we go steal the Indian. Then, wait a minute. I realized that if we stole the Indian and the police catch us, we're going to jail. We're going to be the only one in jail 3 weeks from now.
That's smiles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you what God loves. I'm telling you the truth. And we stole the poor people Indian, and I stopped hanging with them because I wasn't gonna be the fall guy.
Cracker Barrel, $9.4 million judgment. They gave a guy a glass, supposed to have been serving him water, gave him some cleaning solution. $9.4 million.
Ooh,
It
shoot.
messed his lungs up. But I
That's
don't
my
know.
cousin.
Would you want the $9.4 million or some bad lungs?
Gotta have
About
a
the
lung.
lungs.
That's so
No,
crazy.
gotta be able to breathe.
Yeah.
Got to be able to breathe.
Lungs,
9.4
yeah.
million.
Tony Braxton said you can breathe again.
Dr. Green.
You're right. Well, that was a $9.4 million judgment for a glass of water. I don't know how he couldn't tell that wasn't a clear glass of water. I guess he just picked it up and started drinking, unless he had it in a covered cup or something. I don't know.
Just the name
Next
is
subject. Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch refuses to wear a mask at the Supreme Court hearing where the chief judge asked everybody to put their masks on. He refused. What say you?
I say he's a country. I think he's a country white person doing what country white people do. They go with whatever they think might please Donald Trump. That's what they do. Donald Trump told them the other day. See, once he tell them something too, they can't even change when he changed. he mentioned the other day that they need to take the vaccine and get the booster.
Yeah.
And the fools were booing him because they swore off the vaccine. They swore off masks. And now he telling them something different. They booing him.
Yeah.
And so Neil Gorsuch is going up there and he's sitting next to everybody. And if you know if he won't wear a mask, he won't take a vaccine.
yeah.
A bunch of them people up there old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you
He probably
if you look
tried
at
to
it-
give it to a few of the Democrats.
Yep.
Yeah. But on a serious note, too, if you look at every NFL game that came on this whole year or this whole past, you can probably name about 5 people that wear masks.
That's it.
Period. NFL game, period. I ain't seen not one.
The SEC championship.
FC, yeah.
In Atlanta between Georgia and Alabama.
And Alabama. Yeah.
The only person I saw with a mask on was the Jap wife.
Yeah. And the parade Saturday as well. It was so packed in Athens. It was nuts.
Yep.
Yeah.
No one had a mask on.
Yeah. Come on now.
Yeah, and celebrating
Yeah.
and having what they call those things, super spreaders.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Super spreaders.
So
Number 6, free COVID home test. Order yours today. Have y'all ordered your free test yet?
I ordered 4 of them yesterday.
Okay,
Yeah.
everybody ordered theirs. I ordered mine also. My wife said she ordered us some.
My wife ordered them.
know.
My wife ordered them. Then I tried to order them. They told me no.
What everybody?
They said this house has already got some coming.
Yeah, it's free.
Yep.
Hey, Pops.
Daddy telling y'all, hey.
Hey, Pop.
Hey,
Have fun.
you look like
so
Albert
I'll be home.
Einstein.
I know it. Smart.
The best of a breed.
Yes,
Amen.
sir. But
Thank God.
y'all order those free tests.
With
because
these,
those tests.
someone is getting paid for this, or am I the only person that think that?
What?
All of these free tests, they want us to go and order.
It's all about money.
It's all about money. It was on the news this morning at 5, at 6, at 7, at 8. Make sure you get your COVID test free.
They kill off a bunch of people, then they start giving you a pill now that can help you. Then they kill off a bunch of more people, then they start giving you the free test. You know, this is a super cold is what it is that just affects you in a worse way and kills you.
Yeah, and then after 5 days, you can go back to work and to school and teach our children.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What you say, Benny? No,
Watch that. I said it spread the virus.
yeah.
Yeah, it spread the virus. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, and our last one, if you want a free test, you can go to the Civic Center and get a free test. I went last Friday, got my results on Sunday. So you can go there and get your free test, especially if you having any symptoms. Please go get checked out so that you can stay from around people and won't have to spread it to somebody that might have underlying conditions and you end up making them ill. So go get your free test so that you can be safe. I ain't telling you about going to get nothing else. That's your choice, but do get the test so you can know. It's not as harsh as the first round. So go get the test. All right. We're going to get into our main topics, and we only have 3 of them before our topic of the night. We got about 20 minutes before our guest is supposed to be here. And then we'll get into well, we only got 2 of them, really, two or 3 of them.
The views and opinions of those who are on the Rabble did not reflect the views and opinions of Jamal Turay.
Man,
what about Amir?
Hey.
It is for Amir.
Neither Amir or anybody that's tied to this camera right here.
Hey, Jamal, in the 4 Tops, and y'all got a reunion coming up, the 4 Tops.
Oh, Lord.
and y'all got a reunion. Bye.
Okay. Our first subject. First topic of the night. Christian Cinema and Joe Manchin refusing to sign on to stop the to allow the majority to pass the voting rights bill. Any takers on that?
You go ahead, Benny. Little Benny. Take that, little Benny.
Y'all so dirty.
All right, so before I answer that, I don't know how many people have seen my film, It Is Well. It's on Amazon Prime and Tubi. It Is Well, Benny Mitchell. If you Google that, trailers will come up, all sorts of information, but you could actually Google or type in It Is Well into the search engine of the platform and it'll show up.
And we can watch it. Is it a charge? Anything? Tell the people.
Well, if you have the service, Amazon Prime, it is free, but it is $1.99 to rent the video, and it is free on Tubi TV.
Okay. All
right. Amen.
Most people got Amazon Prime. I know I do. So It Is Well. Make sure y'all watch it. So go ahead, my brother. Cinema and Manchin.
Well, my question is why do we have to re-up this bill every time? You know, why isn't it a law pretty much?
Well, here's the thing. During the period that the voting rights bill was passed, it was evident that we might get a voting rights bill, but in order to get certain amount of people in Congress to agree to vote for that bill, they had to put a sunset on it. Other than that, it would not have been passed even when it was passed. And I think it was for about 10 years or something like that. And it had been renewed religiously for year after year after year after year until they realized they had a Supreme Court that may very well not enforce them keeping it. And once they showed in Shelby versus United States, when Shelby won, as soon as Shelby won, they realized they had the numbers, and that's when they let the sunset function on the Voting Rights Act. Now, the other thing that we need to understand is that we are not going to get almost anything done that can't be undone because of the Supreme Court in terms of voting rights. We're watching the part of the ball that's important right now, which is the Senate. But ultimately, all of those processes will get reviewed, even if they're passed by the Senate. I mean, by the Supreme Court. We're in trouble because ultimately, the Supreme Court we've got now has no rules. They will vote to put us back in slavery. Mm-hmm. Don't fool yourself.
And see, Reverend Dr. Smalls is trying to hit on your homeboy with regard to Shelby. He's trying to hit on your homeboy from Chatham County, Georgia, from Savannah, Georgia, Clarence Thomas. So you know that is something. That is something.
And he voted for Shelby.
Yeah.
Which wiped out the meat of the Voting Rights Act.
Yeah.
And the statement was, pass a law. Pass. Don't make it an act anymore. Pass it as a law. Put it in the law. Let the Congress do their job, when they knew full well the Congress was not going to ever be able to do that in the foreseeable future. And what Biden has not gotten done as of December 2021, he will not get done ever. Right now, he is, believe it or not, already lame duck. It's obvious. They've got 52 Republicans. They've got 50. You can call them Democrats if you want to, but they actually have 52 Republicans. And you can't make a law, any law, with 52 Republicans. Sinema and Manchin are Republicans. I call them like I see them.
And Sinema allegedly says that she supports voting rights, that she supports, but she does not like the filibuster. That, and again, I might say, if you were truly down with that, then you will work with regards to getting this done, but you're not trying to work with it. And I tell her, it's interesting that Nick Saban even contacted Manchin to tell Manchin, like, hey, you guys get this correct. That even Nick Saban.
Yeah, but listen to this. Manchin made them do concessions to the act already. They did several concessions based on his recommendations and demands. And even when they finish with that, he still is not going to vote with them. It was like the Republicans with the health reform, with Obamacare. Obama and those made all kind of concessions.
Yeah.
For them to pass the health care, saying they were going to get Republican votes. And then when the vote came up, they got 0 Republican votes. So the Democrats are just plain stupid. I don't care what people say. It's just dumb to try to get along with an obvious enemy. At some point in time, you have to wake up and start calling them out for exactly what they are. Biden got elected saying he was going to be able to get some of the senators from the Republican side to compromise, that there would be bipartisanship. He was delusional.
And both of those people are from Republican states, West Virginia and Arizona, but they claim to be Democrats, like a lot of people in our main topic tonight, claiming to be Democrats, and a lot of them are voting for Republicans. It's almost like they infiltrated us and causing this ruckus within the party. That's not the opinion of Jamal Torre. He gave that disclaimer earlier.
So
Thank you.
The bottom line is this: Republican, Democrat. The bottom line is just blow up the Democrat Party and start back over again. Because at the end of the day, the Democrat not for us, the Republican not for us. Like I said this on the other show, we need to get some kind of organization. I guarantee you. You remember back in the days when Johnson and all of them, when they want to speak to the black community, who they went through? They went through Martin Luther King, because Martin Luther King was the leader for black people, period. Just not only for black people, for people in general, period. We don't have a leader that we can say, hey, go to that person and we can trust that person. Because right now, just because you look like us, you ain't for us. That's the problem. This is the problem. Until we straighten out that problem, we're gonna always have a problem. Whether they pass the voting, whether they don't, whether at the end of the day, if we don't get this virus out of control, ain't none of us gonna be here. Period.
You know what? I Mark Lamont Hill last night, and he was talking about both Republican and Democrat, and how he does identify with either one. And he really leans into the Green Party. I mean, I looked at some of the Green Party values, but at the end of the day, you know, I agree with you, Bernard. The problem is, as a community of people, we've got to align behind candidates that are going to fight for our values: poverty, incarceration, a number of issues that. And then he said this, and it brought this made so much sense to me. We sit here, we just always miss the boat. Think about this. An opioid crisis, all of a sudden it's a crisis. It impacts what community? But if you look back at the 80s and you look at crack cocaine, what did they do? Throw them in jail. We got to start waking up to these issues, because at the end of the day, you know, we keep missing the boat, and it'd be right in front of us. And so I just say, I identify as a particular party, but at the end of the day, if you ain't for my values, I'm gonna start voting for you. If you ain't talking about this incarceration issue, if you ain't talking about homeless and poverty, if you ain't talking about how to get black folks in entrepreneurship, and if you can't answer them questions and voting rights, I'm not going to support you, period.
All right.
I am a blue dog Republican. I'm a blue dog Republican. I'm going
to jump through this TV and slap you right now.
No, Lord.
You're a Republican. What? I'm going to grab you by your throat and bite you like a tiger and tell you to fall out there.
The small robot has got little green Bibles at it.
Like okay, so if you're a Republican, you going to vote for Trump again?
Ooh, not again.
If he's able to run, I will vote for him.
You delusional. Somebody give him some medicine.
Hey, I tell you, it's that hair. Well, it's that should we throw them out of the party?
And that's what going to Jenkins do for you, right there. That's what going exactly. Do for you. Exactly. You can have a PhD and think like that.
Exactly. Should we throw them out of the party? Should we throw Cinema and Manchin out of the party? And the next question, the next topic is, and I guess we're going to spend a little time on that. Our commissioner texted me and said he's in a neighborhood meeting. He'll be here as soon as he get out of the meeting, which should be soon. But
y'all don't start. Y'all behave.
I'm in a neighborhood meeting too.
Come on, Bernard.
Y'all behave now. Y'all do right now.
Keyshawn Housing said, "How do we hold them accountable outside of the voting booth?"
By getting on ATR and other vehicles like this, and making sure as many of our listening public are informed, because it's almost impossible to subjugate and inform people. If we'll keep them up to speed on the matters of the day, if we'll keep them up to speed, if we'll help them to realize that we get a lot of gamesmanship. Now, how do you decide the day after Martin Luther King's Day that the St. Patrick's Day parade can proceed? How do you do that? And but you got to, but you were smart enough to call.
We're having technical difficulties.
But you were smart enough to call the key people at the Martin Luther King Day Parade Association to get them to have a meeting so they would go along with you, and then you could have plausible deniability. I'm telling you in no uncertain terms, anything to do with black folk, this mayor is tamping down. Anything to do with white folks, this mayor is pushing up. That's the way it is. And in order to get the accountability, we have to keep talking about things. We have to keep sharing the facts, the bottom lines. We need to make sure that people understand that when the mayor gets up and says, after they push the people out of Clearview, that we're going to go to the courts and get their names expunged, and nothing like that was ever even attempted. When he says we're going to take care of this in 2 or 3 weeks, that's the last time he's addressing that issue. When he says, I got a task force for that, that's the last time anything's going to be done on that. And then we have to bring up the fact that he said this then and nothing has happened now. He brought together this group then, and when we were arguing about the monuments, the civil rights monuments in Forsyth Park, he put together a group, they put together a pamphlet, and not one stone by one Confederate person has been moved 1 inch. And that's how we are being handled. And if we keep informing our people so that they can get the rhythm of understanding how they're being treated. A girl talked to me today. She said, I cannot believe how disappointed I am when I told everybody I know to support Van Johnson. She said, my heart is broken with the things he's doing.
Yeah. Is Van married? Is he married?
Does he want to be?
No, I'm just saying this. The reason why I'm saying this.
Don't hold your head down, Julian. You know what I'm saying.
Because if he married and he married to a black woman, none of this would be happening. Because she wouldn't put up with it. She'll throw him right there where he need to be in the white community. So obviously, this man, obviously he ain't married. Obviously he ain't. Not to no scrawl. Now, every black woman that you know with leaders was always behind that leader person. Miss Mitchell, Miss King,
yes, sir.
All of them. Trust me. So this guy here, man, this guy got to go. And I know that's Jamal's friend and everything, and he with the temptation, but this guy got to go, man, because there's too many people in Savannah got issue with this guy. And he only catered to who he's catering to. It got to stop. It got to stop some way, somehow. My thing is this: why everybody on this show right here is trying to fight for our community, trying to fight come out of immunity, but they want to badmouth us because we fighting for our community. Oh, you know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense. I don't understand it. You know, that's why I drink my natural light to calm me down.
Now,
you need some little stronger than light, man.
But someone said that with regards to cinema and mansion, they said that just like how Pelosi has done in the House, that Sherman or what they need to do, they need to strip them of their committees and let them understand. But what happened? We are playing nice with them in the Senate, and they say you strip them of what they have. Guess what? They'll then begin to act a little differently. But that's what, again, we allow them to play with that. And so that's a part of the problem that, again, we see on the Democratic side, we are not acting like we need to be acting with regards to if we really want to maintain power. And that you have other folks who are ruthless with regards to this, that and they even go and curate propaganda and lies to promote their agenda, with regard to their ruthlessness. And then you have people caught up. So we need to do right. The question, are the Dems doing enough to win? No, they're not doing enough to win. And so then you may find yourself, again, as Reverend Small said, with regard to him finding himself being a lame duck. But again, strip them of their power. And some folks would have said that when the vice president come to Atlanta and talk to folks in Atlanta, they say what they should have been doing. They should have been in West Virginia and in Arizona, going to their bases, let them know this is what you all are losing based on their action. But see, again, you playing nice as opposed to not going directly to the source. And I was going to say, strip them of their powers.
Well, that might make them act like they're even worse Democrats. I mean, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. So I'd already told somebody they need to be stripped of their
put them
power.
on the spot. Yes, put them on the spot and let their constituents know, because nobody's going to their constituents and saying, listen, this is what they're doing and this is how it's hurting you. They're letting them still talk to them in DC. They're like saying, why y'all in Atlanta when y'all should really go to Arizona and to West Virginia? Y'all need to go in DC. This is what y'all need to do. If you don't do this, you're going to lose out on this. But we're going to go to the constituency right now and let them know how you being ineffective.
Their momentum. The first thing Joe Biden should have done if he really cared about voting rights and all of this infrastructure, he should have did that the first day he hit the ground running. That should have been the first thing. You got to run with momentum. That's the thing. If you want to see the difference between how Republicans operate, yes, it's about power, but it's about momentum too. You want to compare it to Barack Obama? Look at the care bill. When Barack Obama saw that momentum, he kept it riding. When you got momentum, it's like a football team, keep it full throttle. When you back down, guess what? The momentum will shift. That's how the game runs. I mean, the air's out tire. So who wants to support a losing team? And riding is a losing team. Well, unfortunately.
I don't think that they're doing nearly enough to win, because if they were really serious, they would put more money and more of an effort into all these Senate races all across the country, because you got a 50-50 tie. So why not put the money in it? I have not seen it where they put this money in like the Republicans are putting money in. The Republicans spend money. And if you spend money the way that they spend money, they got the money, they just don't want to spend it. And like Keyshawn said, I think he said on here, the Democrats don't lack power. I think he said Democrats don't like power. They don't. It's a fact. They don't like power. When they get it, they just squander it away. They don't know what to do when they got power. They'd rather be that angry person advocating against the people in power. I don't know why. Because when they get power and they got the power to do what's right, they don't do it, or they try to do it and they don't execute it well. Just like here in Savannah, on our subject coming up in a few minutes, we got power here. We got 9 supposed to be Democrats on the Savannah City Council, and they won't do the right thing. They will not do the right thing. We got 7 blacks on the Savannah City Council, a super majority, and they will not do the right thing for our community. They forgot that we have been oppressed, marginalized, underserved for the last 100 years, and then they don't want anything to be equal. They want the playing field to stay right where it's at. It's not fair. And we put these people in there thinking that they're going to do the right thing, and they don't. And this is what the whole problem is. We have to vet these people a little bit more carefully and understand that they owe us for putting them there. They owe the people. Here's
the thing, though. We did vet them. You and I did.
Yeah, you're right.
No, we vetted them.
We did.
Everybody but Van. You can't blame us for Van. We ended up going along with Van because DeLoach was a Republican. That was a mistake. Let's be honest and tell the truth. That's what God loves. If DeLoach was still the mayor, we wouldn't be fighting for the Weeping Time property. Those are facts. Now, we can lie to ourselves, but we shouldn't. We should always tell ourselves the truth about ourselves. And both you and I, among others, supported Dietrich and Linda tooth and nail. You ran across the width and breadth of Savannah, putting up signs and everything just like we did. And here's what we need the people to understand. We got bamboozled. They're going to lie and smooth things over. I'm going to always tell you what the bottom line truth is. I'm glad to see Benny the Third on here, because one thing about his daddy, as much as me and him would fuss, he wasn't no scared man by a long shot. He would stand up and tell him when he would use the word racism, flat foot every time, because they'd be, no, Benny, cool off, cool. And he'd bring it straight to the wood.
Yeah.
Every time. We are going to have to do exactly that. We got to tell people just like it is, the mere fact that we supported Dietrich and Linda on lies they told. That's just a bottom line fact. And then in the long run, Estella decided that she wasn't going to be Estella anymore. I don't know who she is right now.
That's like a book.
I'm just telling you. I'm telling you. And wait a minute. And
You
that's
write
my
that book,
blood
Reverend
cousin.
Small.
That's my close blood cousin. So you know, if I'm I don't play favorites like that.
That's
If
right.
my son grow up to be stupid, I'm gonna call him stupid to his face and in public.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's about the
You say,
people.
look, Flo, you ain't got to call a man stupid, Reverend.
If he's stupid, he's stupid.
Yeah.
So really
But
quick, really quick.
Wait, Benny.
You know, when
Oh.
my father was alive, he was always at the city council meetings, and he brought a crew with him. And I remember you, Reverend Smalls, being right there with him. And my question is, do we have anybody that has closely, I guess, filled those shoes?
Yeah.
Just
I said
Pastor
that
Small.
question too. I brought that question up. Me and RG last week when I brought your daddy name up. I said if everybody take a piece of what he gave to us,
Yes.
this black community will be better. He the one. I'm fired because he taught me. I was a little boy. I was the youngest little usher and deacon at Connors Temple. I was like probably about 12 years old because I always loved the way he just handled himself. I mean, you can throw a stone and it still ain't gonna knock him down because he's gonna go for what's right. They don't have that person down there like that. It's like, you know, with you, Pastor Small, these folks, and I'm gonna be honest, when you out there, we as black people, when we try to do the right thing, our black community run away from us.
Yeah.
They run away from us because they thinking, oh, they about to ride it, you know, and then we got to stay on this side because maybe the van may not give us that big contract to clean this, or he may not do this, do that. That's why we don't have the support we have because the black community run away from us and talk about us. But you can talk about me behind my back, in front of my face. I really don't. You know what? I don't.
Look at you. Come on now.
You're doing good, Bernard.
But
You're
let
doing
me
good.
say this. Let me
I
say
got
this.
this towel. I got this towel.
Let me say this. I think that what we're talking about and what's missing today, people are scared to stand alone.
Yep.
And if you are a real leader who cares about change and who really, really, really understands what it means to make change happen, you stand alone. I want to bring Tiffany up in this. Tiffany saw, and this is an example. Tiffany saw a need in Athens, Clarke County. You got murder rates going up. You got these young men out here in school messing up. Y'all are young black men. She didn't wait for some group to do it. She didn't wait for no church to come do it. Tiffany got her stuff together, started a nonprofit for young black boys, and stood alone and did it.
And
When
still
you're not
standing
scared
alone.
to be a leader, stand up and fight for what's right, and that's what we don't have enough of.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Okay.
think possibly we should be looking at how we should be able to organize effectively. Maybe we have different pieces in the community, one that always goes to these meetings and bring it back to us, and then we figure out where we're going to divide the other people to express the agenda that we have. I have no idea. This is a great platform to sit down and really try to figure out how to organize us. Or
I think Julius knows this well. We could do that. The problem is with the person to bring it back to the hub, but then you got some who want to go over here and do their own thing. You got some over here who want to go tell lies. You got some over here who want to do right. So you got all these factions of people that don't want to organize because, oh, I know what I'm doing, or I don't like it to do our own thing. You can't organize like that. Julius, you know that.
That's not organization then. So
right.
my deal is somebody or a group get together and figure out how they should move, right? Whether you go to these meetings and record it and bring it back, because I know everybody's schedule is different, and then sit down and actually come up with the plan on what's based on that conversation that happened that time, instead of waiting for the city of Savannah to put it out a week later.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. We were effective during the times when your father and others were at the helm. But they were at the helm with people who could barely pay them. they were at the helm with people who were suffering along with them. But now we've gotten to the point where many of our ministers have moved into a gated community. Many of our ministers do have the car that they hoped to get when they were little, when they were growing up. And so what happens is they are trying to protect what they think is much when it's actually little. And as far as getting people to go with you, let me explain the dynamic that took place back during 20, 30 years ago. Benny Mitchell didn't have to call us. All he had to do was get the word out what the issue was, and we showed up.
That's correct.
That was how that worked. Yeah. Now, so we get the word out what the issue is, and then the people want to be invited to the gala more often. They want to be invited to the inauguration. They want to be put on a task force. They want to get a stipend for being on a committee or commission. And so they have divided us, particularly the clergy in Savannah. This is the scariest set of clergy I've ever seen anywhere. I mean, I'm the tell it like it is guy. These guys are afraid of their own shadows, and the real basis of it is an illusion that they're going to be left out or cut out. When actually, if they followed the Benny Mitchell model, now I'm not just staying on Benny Mitchell, he's not my God, but I'm just saying, if they follow the Benny Mitchell model, Benny Mitchell didn't end up broke. He didn't end up shooting bad. He didn't end up out of money or out of material. It never did happen. Those of us who've been in this movement have fared well. Those of us who stood for the community have done extraordinarily well. And our younger preachers coming behind us are so busy milking the people, which sold me a seed.
Okay. We got our guest he came in earlier, but he had trouble with his microphone, and so he had to go out. He's on his iPad now, and he has arrived. I know I got a bunch of questions that the people sent me. I had questions for myself, but those people who called me, I asked them to give me those questions also. So we got questions. Y'all got your own questions. Y'all got a list of questions also from the people. So any of y'all want to ask any of them questions, just check them off as you go. And hopefully we'll see whether the commissioner can answer them. But without further ado, I want to present to y'all the commissioner from the 6th District, Aaron A. Whiteley.
Hello. Am I on mute?
Good evening,
Can you hear
sir.
me?
Yes, sir.
Good evening. I left my floaties on, so I can't wade. I'm a swim. I'm not gonna wade. I'm a swim. How y'all doing tonight? Salud.
Okay. So swim tonight. We
deep out here.
Yeah.
It's a hard show right here now. It's a hard show. Ooh, I can't put these things are too. Let me put you right there in the middle.
Oh yeah. Oh, in the middle.
Not the hot seat.
I love it.
Come on now. You might hold on.
If
you
I
might want to start with prayer, brother. You want to start with prayer? You better have Reverend Small. Come on, I'm praying for you now. I'm trying to tell you.
And so, if I can, Reverend Small just talked about people being afraid, and I'm sorry, but I don't know how to do that. So, with all due respect, I'm gonna speak my conscience. I'm gonna speak to you all. I hope that we can be an example of how to disagree peacefully, because I think that we have to work on that. We have to be able to understand and appreciate that each of us come from different backgrounds and each of us have different perspectives. And I'm not gonna insult you because your opinion doesn't align with mine, and so, I appreciate you for allowing me to come on, Mr. Hall. I appreciate also, as I've told you before, this platform. I think it's amazing to take a hold of media and in essence, media for the African-American community and anybody else who watches your show, watches the programs on ATR. I think that it is important that the people are taking a greater role in sharing our narrative. So I appreciate the opportunity. Good evening, everybody. Don't let me be rude. Dr. Bryant, Reverend Small, Bernard, Miss Taylor, Miss Taylor, I've never met you before. Benny RM the third. Good evening. How y'all doing?
I'm fine. Hello, how you doing there, sir? Glad to see you again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going. Hey, Drew, I'm gonna start off the first question. And I said this last week on this show. You know how when people come out there and they're running for office and they give to the campaign and give money to this and give money to that to the Democrat, Republican. I want everybody to start giving money and to ATR Black Media starting tonight, you know, instead of going over there and giving them money, give us money because we keep it real. And most of the stuff that come out of ATR Black Media, a lot of Black community don't know about it. And I told you, I get most of my information for the news and everything from here, from ATR, period.
Ooh.
And you know why? Because it's real. And I don't have to do too much research, you know, but if I listen to other media, I have to do the research to make sure they're telling the truth at the end of the day. So my first question to you, and I want your opinion. I'm not political correct. I want your opinion. Can you give me your opinion on how you feel about the weeping time?
Yeah, as I've been on here before, and I've spoken on the weeping time before. As I said before, the weeping time, considering that we've recognized that property has historical significance. In this case, for African Americans, it should be left alone. Now, well, you know, we leave any other historical marker, an area where we find bones or we have some sort of historical significance, we leave those things alone. So I believe we should be leaving that alone. Now, I don't know all the details, the ins and outs. So as far as who owns it and this and that and the third, I don't know that. I will say that if the ball is in my court, I will be proud to stand by how I vote.
Yeah,
in that matter.
And you know what? The question that I asked you, right? It was the same question I asked you when you was on the show before. And I'm not trying to get right around, but I asked you that same question and you gave me that same answer. And you come back and you still not giving me the answer. You said, you know, what you just said. You said, when I come back, you know, I have a better understanding of what's going on in weeping time. And right now, you still don't have a better understanding of what's going on in weeping time. And this was, I think, last year sometime you've been on the show.
Okay. Well, you know, Mr. Bernard, as it relates to all the specific details and all that, you know, I'm with all due respect with what I'm doing. And I'm not saying this, I'm not trying to sound pompous when I say this, but if you were check the meeting minutes, check what I'm doing, the research that I'm doing to be effective in my position, with all due respect, that is a city issue. However, again, I believe that if I were in that situation, understanding the fact that this was the site of the largest sale of slaves, you know, of our ancestors, I think it needs to be left alone, you know. But again, I say that not knowing anything else. Now, granted, I would always stand on the fact that, again, this is a historical marker. It's a space of historical significance for our community, and therefore it should be left alone. But with all due respect, Mr. Bernard, I'm not going to dig too deep into that because I can't vote on it.
Yeah. If I may, Bernard, and I respect the answer. As someone who aspires to be very involved with the city leadership in the District 5 level, I think what Bernard and if we think about it, if we look at the University of Virginia, we all know that slaves built that land. And so at the end of the day, they built a monument for that. At no point should anything but a monument be built on adjacent property in that area. And I think what Bernard is looking for is, I think that what scares people in the city of Savannah and the Chatham County area is that we don't have leaders that are definitive. And I understand there's a fight about, well, we're not sure if the land is this or that. Any adjacent property to Weeping Time and Weeping Time itself needs to be preserved, period. And that's the type of leadership people are looking for in this city and county. Not that that's not what you are, but we got too many leaders that are just afraid to be definitive. And we've got to have somebody who, like we were talking about earlier, who's going to be that rallying cry for us.
Well, Dr. Bryant, you know, if I may, Miss Reverend Smalls, if I may just kind of chime into that, and I'll be very brief. Dr. Bryant, the key is, if you, let's say we're firefighters, right? We go to a house and somebody says, well, the house is on fire. You and I are standing out there, we're full kit. And somebody says, well, I think my baby's in there. Well, we're probably going to run in because we think a baby's in there. But what happens when we go in there and there's no baby in there? And so one thing that I want us to do is make sure that when we are having these rallying cries, that we are rallying based on facts, because when we don't, it dampens our arguments in the future. And it's almost like the boy that cries wolf. Not to say that this isn't something to be yelling about, but what I'm saying is when we make moves, we have to be wise, deliberate. We have to communicate amongst ourselves as city or county leaders, and then make decisions. So I don't believe in going in and just, you tell me, that the sky is blue, and then I'm gonna be like, all right, bet. Hey, y'all, the sky's green. I'm gonna make sure that I know what I'm talking about before I actually move in, because I am a leader and because people depend on me to be learned, researched, and understood. And if not, then we have failed as leaders. And so one thing I want to make sure that we understand is that not all of us are learned leaders. Not all of us are read and studied leaders. So, being definitive on this would be great. And if I had all the details and I was in that instance, if I was on the city council, I would have all my details in order. I would have done research that somebody else didn't give to me. However, that's not my space. But again, I think it should be left alone.
And Reverend Smalls, YouTube and Google are right there. But go ahead, Reverend Smalls, I digress.
Yeah.
Well,
what I need those for?
You probably should have let me go first before you said that, because you just changed my mind about something. And what you changed my mind about was I was getting ready to defend you because you and I did talk. And we did talk on the steps of my church.
Yes, sir.
But the more you talk just now about that baby, well, the thing is, if you knew the neighborhood and you was the fireman, you would know whether that baby lived in that house.
Facts.
And that would give you a better chance. Now, we've been having meetings every Sunday for the last 13, 14 months. For you to say that you don't have a grasp of it, even though you're not representing the city, you are a black man in America and a descendant of slaves. You should be learned in this. And the access to that information is, of course, available because right now you're on ATR with a person who has become a specialist at this very idea, this very circumstance. I'm the one who wrote the complaint. We had to have a lawyer to sign off on it, but I formed the complaint, and the complaint is sound, and that's why they're scared, and that's why one of the McLean, from Hunter McLean, Exley and Dunn tradition, wrote an article trying to poo-poo on our effort, and I wrote an article back, and a letter back to the editor, because here's the key to this, and I want everybody to hear it while we're on air. The legal criterion for the preservation of an area is whether or not it was associated with an event. They parked their buggies, wagons, and carriages all over the land in question because that was the only place you could park it, and they entered the land from Augusta Road. If you came from the Louisville roadside, you came on a train because it was just basically a path over there. But if you were a welcome guest, as these buyers and sellers of slaves were, you would have entered through the jockey clubs, Savannah jockey clubs, private entrance for their guests, because you would have been one of the highbrow, sophisticated planters and slave owners in America during that period. They parked all over the area in question. And therefore, if this land was associated with that sale, and that's the legal criteria, and that's all we want, reviewed. We're not asking for anything else. Send it to the proper authority. When Michael Brown read the report that Brockington did, even though they said they concluded it wasn't the land, When you read the report proves it was associated with the property. That's why they did not send it to the Historic Preservation Division. They knew they had lost. That's all we're asking the judge to do. So if you get on this show again 3 months from now, you need to be able to give Bernard a better answer. You need to be educated in it.
I mean, but I understand.
But you're a leader.
Okay.
Your word carries weight.
I understand. Okay. In that regard, Dr. Small, I get it. And so, okay. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into the
now. Quick question.
Go ahead.
Which other of my colleagues have been on here so you could hold them accountable to these same standards that you're holding me accountable to?
Hey.
Well, you just happen to be the
guy.
Which ones have the courage? Let's talk about courage in city and county leadership if y'all want to go there.
Yeah,
and we can go there too, because that's the one thing I'm really troubled. County level is really troubling. I can't really speak for the county level, but I agree with you. Now I don't know who's gonna have the courage, and Julius can speak to that. But we got to talk about courage at the city level right now. That is scary. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, we're gonna get into the main topic of the night, and that's wading in the water.
Nice.
I wrote a post, and you were the only one bold enough to comment on it.
Amen.
I respect that.
Yeah.
You know, we sometimes have differing views politically, and I fight for the people and only the people. It's not about me. It's not about anything. There's not a selfish bone in my body. I don't even want to be here tonight, but I'm led to be here. This is my mission. Just like you, a county commissioner, that is your mission now. You're an elected official. You are answerable to the people.
Absolutely.
I'm answerable to God for whatever I do.
I'm answerable to God too.
Yeah. You are first, and then the people. So with that being said, I got a whole bunch of calls afterwards. I don't know whether you were watching earlier, but you was probably in the meeting.
Yes, sir.
People calling me. I got over 100 calls. I know I did. I was out in the field all day, and my phone was ringing all day. Everybody kept trying to talk to me. But anyway, I got a whole bunch of memes. We're going to show some of those memes in a few minutes of people wading in the water. And you know, you're bold enough to come here, and I was going to invite you to the show with me and Robert, where we are more laid back, but on the Watchdogs, but you weren't available because Chunk got a basketball game. So
yeah,
we are glad that you came here tonight. But we want to know, how well do you know Wade Herring, and what made you give him your vote? I mean, your support.
My endorsement. I know Wade Herring as well as I know Joyce Griggs, and the reason that I'm supporting Wade is because as the commissioner of the 6th district, I have to represent people. With that, I have an agenda in mind that I want to get stuff done. There are certain things I want to do that we're going to have federal support on. So with that, having a relationship with whomever is in Congress is important to me. Having served as the chief aide in that race in 2014 when Brian Reeves ran for that same seat, having traveled to Clinch, Liberty, Darien and McIntosh County, having traveled through all those counties and walked in parades and all that good stuff, and then understanding that district was just recently redrawn, I believe that Wade has the best chance to win. And so with that, considering that I did support publicly, it's on my social media, Ms. Griggs in the last election, and understanding the numbers and again, understanding what the district looks like now, I felt like he has the best interest, I felt like he has the best shot to get in that seat. And so with that, I have to make decisions that are going to set me up to serve all of my citizens, all of my constituents in the 6th district. And so with that, I didn't mind making that endorsement.
Okay, I want to also put on the record that I talked to State Rep Derek Milo today, and he gave me his reasons for endorsing him also, which was that Mr. Herring, being a lawyer, uh, gave his organization some free pro bono work, and that he represents an organization that he's in, and that's their relationship. And he got a call to ask him for his support, so he gave it. He said nobody else called him.
Oh,
So
same here. Wade did reach out.
Right. He said nobody. He said everybody else is taking their support and endorsement for granted. He said this man reached out. So, with that being said, I did want to put down the record, but there are a lot of people that are just angry and wondering. This man got up in a church on MLK Eve and said that he was sitting at his desk and God told him to come and run for this seat.
He lied.
Black church.
Y'all can't talk about what the Spirit told him. How y'all gonna talk about what the Spirit said to folks?
He said God told him
y'all ain't right.
This is the seat to run for.
He lied.
We just want to, and I understand. I just don't understand how so many people are endorsing this man, knowing that he's a true Republican. This man has never given any Democratic candidates that I know of. He given the man three terms.
Speculation now.
Time out. Is he a registered Republican? Is it someone I ain't siding with nobody, but is he registered?
Hell, Joe Manchin and Christian Sinema registered Democrats.
Here we go.
Listen,
so now
to be real. Come on now. Let's be real. Let's be real. But let's be real now. I'm a registered Democrat with the CCDC. I mean, I ain't trying to say right or wrong, but I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's speculative.
I know. I'm asking. I do not know.
If so one thing, have you or has the CCDC ever pulled up his information in Vote Builder?
Yeah, we already watched it. We already seen it.
What's it say?
We've seen it. It says that he gives.
No, did it say strong Democrat? Did it say Republican? Did it say strong Republican? Did it say Democrat? What did it say when you look him up?
How about, is that enough for you right there? He gave 3 terms in a row to Maggie.
What's that got to do with anything, though? You know how many, can I finish the point real quick? So, first of all, in business, right? In business, are you going to, all right, for example, Meg Heat, district attorney at that time, right? Now, I'm not going to sit here. I did not vote for Meg Heat. I do not support Meg Heat at this point I never have in the past. But if you're a lawyer and you give to somebody who's running for district attorney, what's that mean? Like, because you gave somebody money, now that makes you a Republican? How many black people do you know? How many black people do you know voted for Jack Kingston?
Hey, how about Jesse Petraea? He gave to Jesse Petraea also.
So what?
Represents State Rep Jesse Petraea, and everybody knows Jesse is a staunch Republican who don't cater to our community in any regards whatsoever.
But I mean, like, so what though?
You know what?
Hey,
let me cut you off. I ain't mean to cut you off, but
that's about Bernard because I feel it.
No. Let me finish it, Audrey. Okay. Let me finish.
I know Bernard, but you know you about to go there.
Yeah, I'm about to go there because I've been sitting here and I've been listening. And Benny Mitchell he's young. He's a young guy. I'm gonna speak for the young folks. I'm sitting here right now, and I'm listening to you. And I'm thinking about all these young guys who come up to me and ask me questions about the leadership in our black community. The leadership is BS. Say, no, coach, they BS to BS. And you know what? I'm going to put it on record right now, and I agree with the young folks, is BS. And I'm sitting here, and I'm ready to just get up and go because all I'm talking about is political correct. All this political correct. People want to know, be honest. Stop all the political correct answers. Be honest. Mm-hmm. If I say, hey, I get this man $500 for his campaign because I want him to win. instead of saying this or that. At the end of the day, that's what's wrong with our community. Stop voting for people that look like us. I'm tired of it. Stop voting for people that look like us, because at the end of the day, they're not for us. We done been seeing it over 100 and something years. Not for us, period. And I'm just tired of it. I'm just tired of hearing all this. I'm just tired of it. I try to be calm. But it's just the build up and some of your answers, and I'm just over it. I'm just y'all just mute me. All
right. Well, so I'll tell you, Mr. Bernard, have you ever looked at any of our meeting minutes?
I'm mute.
Yeah.
Be nice, Bernard.
So you're assuming because of an endorsement.
No,
hold on.
I'm not.
You said you're on mute, right? You said you're on mute, so be on mute for a second.
Hold on, the man talk now. The man talk.
You're assuming because I'm endorsing Wade Herring that now, I mean, let's see, I got called a sellout. I got by the candidate, Ms. Griggs, who groomed you, A-Dot, Wade Herring. But have you ever seen what I've done at county commission level? And I won't go into details, but if you do some research, you'll see. And you're right. It is a fair assumption to some to say that our leadership in the past has been BS. But we have to understand that the people have to hold leadership accountable. And it hasn't been happening. And so now here's somebody who has been seeking advice. Julius, if you could shake your head. If I've called you before about trying to make something happen, you have somebody who has sought advice and all that. You never called me, Bernard. You never called me, Bobby Bryant. You know what I'm saying? To offer me any insight or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? To offer me any guidance or nothing like that, right? But because I'm endorsing somebody who I believe is going to help me take care of my constituents, because I do have to represent all of them, not just black folks. You know, now you're going to put me in one category. Secondly, you know, to say we should just vote for black folks. So then we do the whole symbolic vote for a black person in this case. But what if we actually groom candidates from point A to point B? So I'm looking at the cards that are on the table now, and I'm trying to make a decision off the cards that are on the table. But because I didn't pick the black one, now I'm a sellout. I got groomed by such and such and all that. And so when we talk about black leadership and all this good stuff, hey, we got to remember that just because I am black, that doesn't mean that my white constituents don't exist. And then the other thing is, if there's not any kind of concerted effort to groom any type of candidates or anything like that, if there's no type of concerted effort to build up anybody else, then we're going to have to play the cards that we're dealt. And so here I am playing the cards that I'm dealt. And then again, instead of calling me and say, hey, Doc, you know, let me offer you some guidance, young blood. You know, I'm 37 years old. I'm probably young enough to be one of your kids. Right? Instead of saying, hey, Doc, let me, you know, hey, take me to lunch. Hey, Doc, I want to teach you something. I want to tell you something. You don't do that, but you'll get on social media and tear me down. And then we say, oh, we got to support black candidates. Well, I'm a black person in the seat who can make something happen right now, and you're tearing me down on social media. And so how am I supposed to feel?
Hold on. We got to tell it. Hold on, Robert. Robert,
no. You better hurry up, because I'm about to.
Robert, you're next.
I don't see you endorse, but I'm about to go there. Go ahead, Julius.
Robert, hold on 1 second. You're next. A-Dot, there's only one person on this panel that is supporting Joyce Griggs. That's Pastor Smalls, I believe. I am not. So I was not, when I made that post, I was not telling you that you need to select a black candidate. That was not what my post was about. Wow. So, and I saw you had jumped there about us grooming Joyce and getting her ready. I'm not her. I'm not her handler. So that's what I wanted to tell you. But go ahead on, Robert.
It's not about that. I don't care who you're doing. You can, for all I care, you can use Buddy Carter. I don't care. Let me go back to one. Let me show you. Y'all take the story the way you want to. When I first ran for Public Service Commission, y'all look back when they won. I locked horns with who? John Knoll, a white man. At the time, we also had a black man in that primary. I never had a primary. But what I realized was, I'm being a part of this piece for one reason, on one reason only. It took me, and I'm not saying that's what's happening, but it took me a minute to realize what was going on, and then I detached myself. What I'm saying is this. I don't care who you support. It's not about selling out. It's none of that. What I think people don't realize is when you're in certain roles, you need to make certain decisions that make certain sense. Right now, I'm not in a role. I can endorse who I want or not. But when you are in a space where you have control of people's decision-making abilities, or they look to you, or you have an influence, that's the word. That's where I think people are concerned. They are concerned because, wait a minute, what he says carries weight. And so I don't think you're a sellout. I just think you got to be mindful about when you make decisions and put them out there, that influence is going to drive those people in the 6th district. And that's what I think is what's driving people crazy. At the end of the day, if you support Wade, I do. I have the person I support, but guess what? I've yet to say that. Not because I have some kind of influence, but you got to be mindful that the words you speak are monitored every single day because of the seat you sit in. And you got to realize that.
I realize that, and that's why I made the endorsement.
You don't even know what's going on with Weeper time.
For what? That's not my responsibility.
What do you mean for what? Your black folks over there suffering, son.
Yeah, you should have said that.
Come on, man.
Just about the internet.
Listen, A-Dot is wait, listen to me very carefully. A-Dot is a good guy. Okay, y'all need to know that.
I'm not saying that, Reverend Small. If I know more about Weeper time, come on, bro.
Give me a minute.
Let him talk, Rob.
I need A-Dot. He said that we need to groom somebody. As far as I know, so far on the show, he got a call from a well-heeled lawyer who he says is qualified, but he didn't say what he's done in the community. He didn't say what he's done for poor or black folk who are being disenfranchised. He didn't say any of that. And I want to give him an opportunity to give us some track record of Wade Herring, because I've been knowing the man for a very long time. And I don't know of a track record with me knowing who he is and stuff of some of the other things that he's done. So what are some of the track record for Wade Herring that would allure us to vote for you?
Well, so one thing I'll say is, I'm going to get there. So, before y'all get there, let me finish my statement. I'm not here to sell Wade. Bring Wade on here and let him tell you what he did in the community.
No, you endorsed him already. You already endorsed him.
Again, you didn't let me, there's a comma. That wasn't a period, right? So I'm not here to sell him, but, if you invite him, maybe he'll tell you. Now, something to consider, I know, let's see. So I know he served on Frank Callan Boys and Girls Club Board of Directors at some point. Know he's worked with the Appleseed Foundation, which helps to cut the school to prison pipeline, which is right along with something that I'm putting together called Teen Court that you'll hear about a little bit later, which is trying to cut the school to prison pipeline. I know at some point he represented Curtis v. Cooper and Curtis v. Cooper in a lawsuit. Now, granted, that lawsuit I believe was a black man was suing Curtis v. Cooper, but he has worked with them. As far as the folks who he's given to, y'all screenshot you have to go to each candidate, but I know he's given to folks like all the progressive candidates like Beto O'Rourke. You got Barack Obama, Stacey Abrams, Ossoff, Warnock, Tony Center, Jason Carter, Chester, Edna. No, he didn't give to me. Check my record.
I'm one.
He didn't give
That's
to me.
what I'm saying.
No, he did not.
I don't think y'all. This is fair to make this man defend his decision.
I don't think it's fair to make this man defend his decision. But the other thing is, if we're gonna put that up, then let's put. You got to do the same for all the other candidates. You see what I'm saying? And so it's unfortunate that I have to come on here and do this. And again, remembering where I sit, because of the seat that I sit in. You put me in a tough position, but it's okay because I asked. I said I'll come on, and so understand that I have to make decisions that are going to affect all people. Just because I am black, I got 3 black children, I got a black wife, so I know where I'm at, and I know where I came from. At the same time, now that I sit in this seat, I have to make decisions that are going to help me be the best commissioner that I can be. Because when it's all said and done, even today, if I left office today, I could sleep knowing that I've done what I needed to do for our community and done all that I can for our community. But while you're holding me accountable on here, again, I just ask that you hold everybody else to the same accountability, and I'll just say, read the minutes, man. Read the meeting minutes. I got to do what's best for my constituents, because I have Black, white, Republican, Latino, Democrats, libertarians, and so on and so forth. So I have to do what's best for my constituents. And regardless of what seat I sit in, I'm going to do that. And like I said before, if I got to work with Republicans to make something happen for my constituents and for the community, then I'm going to do that. And whether you know it or not, there are instances where we have to do that. And if you look at some of the things that we were passed even here recently, when it comes to transparency as it relates to evaluations, that was passed with some Democrats and Republicans here in the county commission. So, again, I say that to say I'm not I'm not here to sell Wade to anybody. Everybody has to make whatever decision they need to, but we have to do a better job as a community, especially using our media outlets such as ATR, to make sure that we have a well-informed electorate. Because if we don't, here we are making assumptions, So I'm not here to bash Ms. Joyce. I think, again, I voted for Ms. Joyce in the last election. I wish her the best. I told her personally that I endorse her opponent. I told her in her face so that the peanut gallery couldn't go and send screenshots and text messages. Those sound familiar. They couldn't do that to me. Anything that I got to say, I'll say it to your face. And if I'll tell it to you, I'll tell it to them. And it's unfortunate, again, that I have to come here and say this, but at the same time, it is what it is, as it relates to the weeping time. I mean, don't get me wrong. I got a general idea of what's going on, but as far as, okay, what's the current zoning? All right, who owns the property right now? How long has it been owned by HUD or whoever? What was that process? Who sold it to HUD? Whenever it was the 10 broke, from then to now, what hands did it change? Those are the things that we would need to look at if we want to be thorough and make a well-informed decision. And I'm just saying, respectfully, with everything that I'm working on in the commission, and for the county and for my district, and for the community at large, I haven't had time to look into that. So, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm not sorry, but I'm not going to have the answer that you're looking for necessarily. Again, at the end of the day, to the extent that my voice matters, leave the weeping time place alone.
Okay.
Leave it alone.
Okay. Well, you called out some Democrats that he had given money to. So evidently you did some research, or you talked to him and he told you that little bit of information. Why is he crossing the line as a Republican, going as a Democrat, working at a firm that we know has done so much damage to this community by their representation? And I don't think it's a Democrat in the entire firm, to tell you the truth. And Wade isn't either. If you check what Wade is, his giving is to people that don't support our community. That's on Wade. That's not on you. But what is on you is that y'all didn't do the research to say, okay, let me get back with you so I can say whether I want to support you or not. Let me get back with you.
Who said that? Who said that? That was not how it played out, player. That was not how it played out. I understand if I'm making
none of that matters to you.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. Well, okay, so again, first of all, that was not how it played out. Hey, Doc, can I get your endorsement? Sure, man, you got it. No, that is not how it played out. First of all, second of all, I'm not here to hire Hunter McClain. Third, I'd love a historical talk about Hunter McClain. My phone, it stay on. You can hit me up. I'll be available for lunch. I'll take you to lunch. You know what I'm saying? But, hold on, man. You are interrupting dude. Dr. Bryant, come on, man. But at the end of the day, I'm not here to argue what Hunter McClain has done. I'm not here to argue none of that. I'm here to stand by my endorsement of Wade Herring because I think that he has the best chance to win in November. And I think that he has the best, him winning in November and me aligning with him gives me a great opportunity to do great things for this county and for my district. I represent Democrats, Republicans, Blacks, white, Latinos, and Asian Americans, and so on and so forth. I have to make decisions for all of us. Now, that does not mean that I forgot where I came from. That does not mean any of that. But we have to understand that there's certain things. If we want to play if we want to just yell out everything but not pass anything, how effective are we? If we want to do the symbolic vote, okay, well, I'm gonna endorse Joyce, even though I don't think that she could win. Well, what am I doing for my citizens in the future if she doesn't win? Or understanding, the numbers in that race for over a 20-year span. This isn't just like it was ran back to back, So I don't know, man. That's none of that stuff is what I'm on here for, and whether he gave to whomever, why he gave to whomever, and all that good stuff. That didn't necessarily have as much bearing as you would have liked it to have in my decision. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Julius
Dr. Bryant.
What I was trying to do is really help you out because at the end of the day, as I said before, endorse who you want. I don't think we need to keep questioning about who you endorse. You endorse who you want. The facts will be the facts. My concern is this. You got to understand, if you live in the city long enough, you will know that historically black folk and brown folk has been marginalized and discriminated against and left behind. When you say you don't understand weeping time, and when you don't realize what's going on in your county, that becomes concerning to me. You got a whole district that's being taken over by SCAD. You probably don't even know that either. See, things like that when it impacts people like you and I that look like us, Clearview, Yamacraw, things like that, those are our people getting displaced.
I know.
Those are our people that are living in poverty and low wages. So what you're saying is you don't understand those issues. And yes, you live in the 6th district. I live in the 5th district of the city, but I can guarantee you, I know my history about what's going on around me.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? I'm not coming off as you. I think you're a great leader. I really do. I can tell you that. But what I'm saying is, I really want you to think about the things that are coming out your mouth when you say, why should I know that? Because it matters to your people.
I get that part.
And that's important.
I understand where you're coming from.
If you want to start talking, I'm there for you. But I want you to don't say those things because it hurts, because it's like I'll give you a great example. Right now in the 5th district, the city's giving them a pass to take over these homes, to buy these homes. 80, 90-year-olds are called daily, 4 times a day, to buy their homes. These people built these homes when they couldn't go on the south side, brick by brick.
Facts.
Weeping time. I don't care who owns what. Those were our people sold out there. That's important. And I don't mean to come off, and I didn't mean to holler at you, but you got to be mindful of those words, man. Come on.
I am mindful, but again, the point, if you didn't just hear what I said, I understand generally what's going on about the weeping time, but when we're talking about the details, like what Reverend Smalls is talking about, the details that create the basis in which he created that complaint, I don't know that. Again, if you see what I have done on the commission, you'll know that I do my research. And you talk about black folks and all that good stuff as it relates to where we are and so on and so forth. Well, I mean, the 6th district was home to a whole lot of black folk. How about Coffee Bluff? How about all the bluffs? How many black folk, how many burial grounds do we have right now in the 6th district where black folks are buried? I know that. You see what I'm saying? But again, what I'm telling you is that we have been putting folks into positions, and they have been there not for the work. They're not for the work. They're not for the research. So when I say I don't know enough about it, I'm saying it as much as I need to be able to make a full educated estimation or decision about that. I don't, and I say that because we have to do that more often. You say we can't just. Again, if you told me the sky is red and I say I only get my news from here, and they said the sky red, so it got to be red, I don't got to research that. Well, then I can go somewhere else and be looking like a fool. You know what I'm saying? And yelling and raising a ruckus and getting all us riled up. We got people calling off from their job that they really can't afford to come march about the sky being red, and the sky ain't red. So all I'm saying is, I get where you're coming from, Dr. Brian, and I appreciate what you're saying. But at the same time, just because here comes Fredo. Just because we got, just because, we got Fredo on this thing.
Right now.
Just because we got people
color purple, y'all.
Because I said that I don't have everything to make a full decision. That don't mean nothing.
Okay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna invite Wade Herring on. My candidate right now, I don't have one, but I know you thought that I was representing Joyce Griggs, which I'm not.
I didn't think that because you would have been saying that. You would have said that. I know. Okay. I didn't think that.
I just want to make sure. And but I don't think that Wade has a snowball chance in hell of beating Joyce.
No, leave Wade on that move on.
He won't get 15% of the vote.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion. We'll see in a few months. He's not that man. He's not articulate enough, doesn't speak well enough.
Okay.
His message is not good enough for this community. So, and he got all the wrong people. Not you. I like you. He got all the wrong people endorsing.
Thanks.
We actually all do like you.
I like you in Mallow.
Thank you, y'all. Well, I like y'all too.
This is the photo. We got you got my man Mallow and got you over there. In the middle there, we got Edna. Corner, baby. We got some people that the community just don't gel with no more. And they'll see soon enough. We got Buddy Carter. They say him and Buddy Carter are the same person. So people have been sending me this all day. I got hundreds.
At the end of the day, your congressman will be Buddy Carter. Next subject.
Anyway, I just wanted to say, you and Mallow, y'all, both of y'all contacted me, so y'all did have the balls to say, hey, this is why I'm doing this here, and that's what I wanted to give the voters, y'all's opinion of why y'all doing this. That's all we want to do, because you're an elected official, you're held accountable by those people, not only in your district, but the entire city, because they view you also. And you have to vote on things that concern their communities also. That's all.
Absolutely. And again, if you look at my voting record, you'll see that I operate how I need to operate to do what's best for our community at large, African American and everybody else, so. And again, I can sleep at night knowing that, that I didn't just say, oh, I can't do that. No, I don't operate like that. So,
yeah.
It's all good.
You got anything to say, Tiffany? And then Tiffany's going to be you, and then we're going to let little Benny talk. Go ahead, Tiffany.
No, I'm just listening.
Okay.
Where your popcorn at, Tiffany? You need a popcorn.
What about you, Benny? Little Benny?
I'm just listening as well, but I do want to know, A-Dot, where you from?
Born in New York, spent the first half of my life in New Mexico, moved to Georgia and experienced culture shock in 1996 to start middle school. Did middle school, high school in Augusta, Georgia. Came to the beautiful city of Savannah, Georgia in 2002 on a track and field scholarship to go to the illustrious Savannah State University. Stayed there, dropped out in 2005. Had a baby in 2005, had another baby in 2006, joined the Army in 2009, went to war, treated some people. Some folks didn't come back, came back, went right to work into the community. As I said, I got back in 2014. I went right to work at the request of Mr. Joe Murray Rivers, working on Brian Reese's campaign. And from there, the organizations and coaching and engagement and mentoring, it's there. I've been doing that. And then fell in love with my boo thing, got married in 2009, came back here, man. So
how you doing?
Okay.
Who let the dogs out?
Former Commissioner Jay Jones, do you have anything to say on this, sir?
Yes, my name is Jay Jones, and I no longer reside in the 6th District.
You're no longer in the 6th District. Okay.
That's it. Bernard, how you doing?
Hello, bro.
Dr. Smalls, how you doing?
Hey, baby brother.
Dr. Brian, how you doing? Benny, Tiffany,
Now
Ada,
y'all,
all
Robert,
y'all,
come
how
on
y'all
now.
doing?
How you doing?
I'm just happy to be in the number one more time. I ain't got nothing to say. I just been sitting and watching. That's all.
Go ahead, keep texting too. Keep texting.
Well, we got a bunch of questions for Mr. Herring. Okay. I don't expect you to answer these questions, ADOT, because he needs to answer them. If he's going to hope to get any of our votes, he needs to answer these questions. We will invite him. If you talk to him anytime soon, you can tell him that we're looking for him, and we will send an invitation for him to appear.
It's only one that's been on the Watchdogs, and that's Michelle Monroe. So until the other two want to come on the Watchdogs, looks like Michelle Monroe looks like she's the only one want to talk. So both candidates are welcome to be on the Watchdog, which is Saturdays at 12 o'clock. The #1 virtual news show in the city of Savannah.
It is the #1 virtual news show. That is absolutely correct.
It's #2 behind After Dark on Fridays
No,
at 10
After
o'clock.
Dark still can't touch me.
Pastor Brown. Pastor. Go ahead, Bernard.
Hey, let me clear something up. Commissioner, let me clear something up. I didn't say that, we should all vote for black people. I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
You should vote for whoever you think is the right candidate, whether they black, white, green, whatever, at the end of the day. And I'm a firm believer that because I got every nationality in my family. So I didn't say vote because you was black. I said sometimes just because we look like each other, that don't mean you always have to vote for us. That's what I said.
You didn't say that.
And my thing
said,
let me
you didn't say that though, Bernard.
No. I know what I say. I know what I'm not here to get into with you because the last time me and you got into it together. But you passionate about what you say. I'm passionate about what I'm saying. But I'm not going to get an attitude when somebody asks me a question that they don't like, And I think that's what you're doing. We ask you a question, you look like you get an attitude with it. I may be wrong, but just what I see.
Well, here's the question. Here's the situation. When I was asking the questions, I think you assumed that it was an attack when it was simply an inquiry.
Well,
and
yes,
just for clarification. Okay.
I did.
Well, it was just for clarification. Mm-hmm. You're supporting this man. We have questionable endorsements and things of that nature that we've seen down through the years. So give us your reasoning. Of course, we've talked before.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
So I care for you, and I will vote for you and support you again when you run. But the key to it is there are questions that need to be ferreted out in the public. I think one of the great errors of my age, of my group, and I'm 70 years old, so I'm not one of the old guys, is that we would do this talking behind closed doors and leave our public uninformed as to the nuances. I think it's and I said that on the thread today. I think it is healthy for us to have this discussion, and even in the sense that if we can get people to understand the realities of that election and of that seat, the reality is that there are more blacks in the Democratic Party, and therefore more than likely a black person, in this case generally Ms. Griggs, wins the primary, and then we come up short in the general because once you leave Chatham County, it gets super white down through the line. That is not an attack. That is not us being vicious at each other. That's being informational. And if we'll stay in those realities, if we'll stay in that grouping, I do have a suspicion and would have a suspicion of a person who donated to Meg Heath. And then she lost to a qualified black opponent. If the two opponents are relatively equal, and one of them's black, because blacks have so long been excluded, I'm going to vote for the black person. But now there are many times the white person is better for us as a people than the black person. In a case in point, Pete Lukakis ran. I supported Pete Lukakis against Otis Johnson. I still believe Pete Lukakis did way more in the county when he became the chairman than Otis did for us in the city, because we never got above 1.5% of the contracts and the vending in a city that was almost 60% black at the time. So let's deal with the realities. Let's tell the truth to the people. Let's inform them. Let the chips fall where they may. And anybody can endorse anybody they want to at any time, but you shouldn't feel put upon when you're called to give a reckoning as a leader for what you're doing. I have to give a reckoning as to what, and I don't want to be a leader, but look like I might be. But I had to give a reckoning for recommending to the Weeping Time Kevin Goff. The whole city went for good reason. I understood that before we did it. But what you need to know is, if you can't stand the heat, stay out the kitchen.
Facts. Well, Dr. Small, I will say, and Bernard, I'll say this to you too. I came in with my guard up. I mean, when I was disrespected, my name was trash in that doggone text message. Ain't nobody, none of y'all, necessarily spoke up for your boy. So I got to come in with my guard up. Now my face being twisted up and all that, I understand. That perhaps that wasn't the right move. And if you will understand that I am not a politician, but a peopletician. And if, like you said, if you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen. I understand that. But at the end of the day, I have a tremendous amount of respect for all of y'all. Again, I think it's important that we are able to show that we can disagree and all that good stuff, and we have different perspectives and stuff like that. But again, even when you came the way you came at when you made your comment, Bernard, it seemed like an attack to me. I mean, I don't know. I may be wrong. I doubt it. But nonetheless, so I did come in with my guard. When we got a candidate asking me, A-Dot, who groomed you, Wade Herring? What you mean? And that's the candidate that you're supporting, Reverend Small. She said that to me. You know what I'm saying? On the thing.
Well, I didn't say it.
No, I know that. All I'm saying is, though, if we gotta be right and all that, if we gotta not want to take this and that, come on now, it's a two-way street. But again, I understand. Again, I have a tremendous amount of respect. It's no beef. I don't take it personal. If I wasn't ready for the fire, I wouldn't be on here. And I just say I do this. And I say I can sleep at night. If you look at the meeting minutes, if you look at the policies passed, I'm all right. And when it's all said and done, they're going to say A-Dot was all right.
I got to cut you off right there because nobody else can't go. It's at 1:58.
Wow.
I cannot run this show. I cannot repeat it if it goes off for 2 hours. We got 1 minute. I'm going to have to end it. A-Dot, we thank you for coming. Benny Mitchell III, we thank you for coming. We're going to have you in some more. Tiffany, glad to see you. Dr. Smalls, I know you're always there. And my other two co-hosts, besides Tiffany, we thank you. Thank you for tuning in, Jay. And Dr. Amir Torre. But we got to go, and I thank y'all. It is well. Make sure y'all get it as well. A-Dot, thank you for coming. Big ups to you for showing up, brother.
Yeah, we love you. That's why we got your back always.
I appreciate it.
Y'all.
Y'all take it easy. Have a good evening.
All
right now.
Y'all be good now.